What's up, guys? So John and I have decided that we are TV show critics and we want to do a little review of some of our favorite dramas and comedies that we've been watching, obviously not just throughout quarantine, but all the time to stay entertained. We wrote down a little list because we can't remember. Obviously, for comedies, and within, 3 years we started watching The Office, we've watched...
It was only 3 years ago?
It's literally 3 years ago I did that.
We haven't stopped watching it since.
We have not stopped watching it. It's just every time it ends, we just start from the beginning.
I'm not gonna lie, after you watch it about 5 times, you start to hate it. And you start to hate the characters. I hate Phyllis. I hate Pam.
No, you don't hate
I hate Pam after like season 4, I do.
And you hate
I hate Andy with all my heart.
I feel like for a lot of people, it's literally the show you put on just to have like something like light and funny in the background. And
yeah, it's like comforting to like rewatch something that you know well and can make you laugh. And there's Creed.
And there's Creed, yes. Exactly.
I love Creed.
So that's kind of like, for us, that's The Office, that's Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Bob's Burgers, we love like adult cartoons. Yeah. So Family Guy, Bob's.
Bob's is one of those shows, like, give it a chance.
Yeah.
Like, season 1 is pretty good. Like, you'll get into the show and go back to season 1 and you'll absolutely love it because Bob's Burgers is genius. But season 2 is like such an amazing season of television. Like,
that's one of those.
It's such a funny show.
It is a really funny show, and
so
it did take us a while to like
I didn't
get used to it.
When it first came out and I tried to watch it, I was like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
And then like a year or two later, I went back and I was like, I'm so dumb.
You actually have to actually have to like pay attention and listen and like understand like the dynamic of that family and everyone's personalities.
Yeah. And then there are like a lot of like cultural reference type jokes that even we don't get all of them, and then sometimes we'll be watching something else and then we'll see and we're like, oh my god, that's why that joke from Bob, like, now it makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
100%. Yeah. So Bob's, obviously Family Guy's a classic forever. South Park. Yeah. One that I haven't really watched like beginning to end or anything like that, but I've watched some of them as you watch it, is Bojack Horseman. And you love that show.
I do love that show.
It's pretty funny from what I've watched, and that's not even really knowing all of the characters.
Yeah,
it's pretty well done.
And it's not even like super funny necessarily. It's funny, but it's more of just like a drama looking into the life of this like movie star or former TV star that's like, he has all the money and the fame and all that, but he's never happy and he's always looking to like be fulfilled. And oh, sorry, I like talking to you. He's always looking to be fulfilled, and he has
it all, but he's still not happy.
He's fucking up, and it's never enough. But it's such a good show, and I feel like they closed it really well.
It's done. It's done. How many seasons was that? 5 or 6?
I think it was 5.
Big Mouth. That's another one I haven't really watched beginning to end. We probably should, because that one's funny.
I've watched it all. It's pretty funny. They're like barely teenagers.
Okay, preteens.
I feel like they're in middle school.
Probably. And then going through puberty age. And then trying to figure out like their sexuality and...
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's not for everyone. I know a lot of people who like think that it's a gross show.
Alright, and then John hates these two, but they're kind of like similar to The Office for me. Parks and Rec, if you haven't watched Parks and Rec, is very similar to like The Office style. John doesn't like that. He just doesn't like certain characters.
I don't hate it. I just don't think it's funny.
I think it's hilarious.
don't think Aziz is funny at all. I don't think Amy Poehler is funny at all. Ron Swanson is hilarious.
Yes,
Ron
but it's amazing. Like the combination of everyone is just really funny. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think, is freaking hilarious. John's sister got me hooked on that one, and I think it's so funny.
I actually don't mind that show. I just don't think Andy Samberg is funny at all.
He's not really funny, but everyone else is freaking hilarious.
It's just kind of like
Gina and Charles for me are like my people, man. They're so funny. Anything Charles says, I just crack up. And Gina's just like I guess let's talk about her a bit.
You already are.
I know, but I'm saying like, so they're all cops in the 99th precinct of New York, and Gina is actually like an assistant to the sergeant, and she solves all the cases. Like, she's not even a detective.
It's a pretty good show.
It's a good show.
It's a pretty good show.
I like that one. Another one that I feel like is kind of not recent. I recently found out about it. Schitt's Creek. You're kind of
It's alright.
I think Schitt's Creek is
I would never watch.
hilarious.
I watched it the first time. I would never like go back and rewatch it.
Okay.
Like, oh my god, I want to go rewatch Schitt's Creek. Like, no.
Yeah. I forgot that I haven't actually finished that show because I feel like once David got a boyfriend, it got super like, which is cute and I'm like happy, but it was less funny and more like feel good, happy, lovey, romantic.
Except I hate her. David?
That's the best part of the show. David. I think.
that shit is annoying.
No, they said when she figured out like the right inflection for that, they added it in like she added it in like every line.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
I like her character.
It's basically, Schitt's Creek is basically about like this million billionaire family.
Damn, you're really going in on Schitt's Creek. You're gonna talk about it more than every
because I feel like
one.
that's not a super well known one. Basically, they're just billionaires and they lose everything because someone who was managing their accounts like was involved with like fraud or something. So then they move to this town, which is the only thing they own, and it's called Schitt's Creek, and they have to kind of figure out how to rebuild. So I think it's really funny. Obviously, all the hype right now is Tiger King. And I don't think it's really supposed to be a comedy, but it's absolutely it's absolutely hilarious.
The memes, the Tiger King
it.
memes are funnier than
Tiger King memes are absolutely freaking hilarious.
Oh, I have some good ones on my mind.
I feel like you don't even have to like watch Tiger King to know what
it enhances the memes watching the show.
Yeah,
I understand.
100%. Tiger King, I feel like your sister immediately.
Yeah, she watched it like the day it came out.
The day it came out, and
she was like, "You guys have to watch this," and I was like, "No."
Every episode they watched, she'd call John just crying, laughing. We're like,
"No
"What
way.
is this show?"
It's that funny.
She was like, "It's so much more than you think it is." She was like, "He's a country artist," and we were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, but apparently he doesn't sing any of those songs, though.
Wait, really?
No.
Someone else sings them?
Yeah, someone else sings them. Like he paid someone.
Next, one that I don't know if it's quite a comedy, but Atypical on Netflix.
Is that the one with the penguin kid?
Yeah, it's about the main character is autistic, and it's basically just him and his family and them going through life dealing with not only his autism but their personal lives, and it's very dramatic, but it's also like a funny feel-good show, and I liked it way more than I thought I was going to. I don't think you watched that one with me, did you?
Yeah, I watched a decent amount. Yeah, it tripped me out that the dad in it, Michael Rappaport, he's just like, I follow him on Instagram, and he's a funny, like super funny dude, but he's very vulgar. And just seeing him be like he's like a great dad in the show. And it's just like, not that he couldn't be a great dad in real life, and he probably is, but it's just so weird because he's like so nice, I feel like, in the show.
Yeah.
Like in real life, he doesn't give a fuck. Like,
I know, I didn't know that until after I had already watched the show. John like showed me his Instagram, and I was like,
he does a good job. I mean, I guess that's acting. I mean, he does a good
100%.
job.
And then for stand-up, John Mulaney. If you haven't watched John Mulaney stand-up,
he is very funny.
It's probably like, I feel like Kevin Hart was like my favorite comedian, and then we watched John Mulaney, and John Mulaney is just so funny. It's not super raunchy or anything like that. Yeah. He's just like, I don't want to say
he's like in his 30s, but you look at him and I see him as like a 14, 15-year-old.
Yeah, he looks very young, and he makes fun of himself being like, you would think he's gay if you looked at him, but he's been happily married for a while.
A little bit.
Yeah. We actually saw him.
Dude, his stand-up special in Detroit, or his whatever his stop, funnier than the one that they like released.
Yeah, that was Kid Gorgeous, I think, on Netflix.
Dude, it was so.
Yeah, we saw that one we got tickets for my brother's birthday. Yeah, we were laughing the whole time. All John Mulaney is just absolutely hilarious. If you need a good laugh, check out.
Former SNL writer, really good.
Yeah, he wrote for SNL in like 2008, which is actually some of our favorite SNL episodes to watch back, with Fred Armisen, Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader.
Oh yeah,
Bill Hader. Yeah, so a lot of good like cast members when he was writing too. Would you say Sex Education is like a comedy?
I would say it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I like both seasons of Sex Education.
That was a good show. Yeah, I liked that one. That's like a British show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, has
my girl
Scully.
Oh yeah!
What's her real name? Jillian?
If you've ever watched X-Files, that's one of John's favorite shows of all time. Scully from X-Files is the main character is her son, and she's a sex therapist?
Yeah, basically sex therapist.
And so he not sexually, what's the word I'm thinking of? Experienced, but he learns like from her type of thing, and then he starts giving out advice to students at his school.
And his girl Maeve. He's like pimping him out for it. Like she's like, so charging. They're like charging kids
for advice.
For like sex advice, but it's really good.
It is really good. Okay, so that was kind of all I had for comedies. On to the dramas. We mentioned this on the Instagram Q&A, but Ozark. If you haven't watched Ozark, you know it's good because John hated everything Jason Bateman has been in up until
I did not like Jason Bateman
show.
as an actor. He was one of those guys where I was just like, if he was in it, I was kind of like, I'm good. He's phenomenal.
So good.
He does such a good job in this show.
I think the writing is really good in this show too, though.
He does. I think he might do some of the writing, but he kills it in this show.
So if you haven't watched Ozark, Ozark is basically about Jason Bateman and his family, and he's a accountant, I think, in Chicago.
Something like that.
Something like that. Basically, he's really good with numbers, and this drug cartel.
They're laundering money.
So they ask him to launder money, and so
his partner is stealing money in the first season, and the cartel comes and kills his partner, and then they let him live, but he has to go to the Ozarks and clean all this money for them. And they don't think that he can do it, but it's like the only chance he has to like save his family. We're not going to give any more away. Go watch it.
Peaky Blinders.
Love Peaky Blinders.
I didn't watch like the first few seasons with you.
Yeah.
And then I think I started or rewatched when the third season came out so I could catch up. And that's a really good one too.
My only complaint with Peaky Blinders is sometimes they do these like cheesy group get in a line. Everybody's dressed like
walk down the road.
1920s, and
because it takes place in the 1920s.
They get their cigarettes and their hats, and they're trying to look all like.
But that's like the vibe of the show.
Yeah, I know, but it's just so cheesy.
John hates any cheesy.
Like that's the only thing. Everything else about that show, I really love. Like I love the character. There's no character on that where I'm like, that's a horrible character choice. What?
His girl.
Which one?
His wife.
Oh.
Hate her.
She's annoying, but she's not. Well, you'll see.
She annoyed the shit out of me. I don't know what it was. That show's basically, so it takes place in the 1920s,
like
10s.
It's post World War One.
Okay, and they're in Birmingham-ish, like England, yeah. And they're basically, their family is like a gang, and so they kind of
rise through the ranks.
Basically,
legitimize
their businesses.
And they get mixed up with like the government and other gangs, and
it's a really easy one to binge too because each
6 episodes
a season. They're like an hour-ish, I want to say, a piece. Yep. And so much happens in a season. Another one is Handmaid's Tale.
Don't watch it.
No. If you have Hulu, Handmaid's Tale is on Hulu. It's scary because it feels like it could happen, and it feels like we're not that far away from it happening.
Yeah, with super conservative psychopaths who want to control everyone else, but still want to do whatever they want to do. Like how the people who run the society in Handmaid's Tale, like they're telling people like all this is bad and you can't do this and blah blah blah, but then they go to those like underground like clubs where they live the same life, but it's just like we can live that way, but you guys can't. It's
so basically it's like this group of like super conservative like religious people who overthrow the government and they kidnap people. So any women who have had babies before become a handmaid, and basically a handmaid, you are I don't even know how to describe it.
You're a sex slave.
You're a sex slave for a specific family. So it would be like us having, if like I couldn't get pregnant, we would bring this woman in who we know is fertile.
I guess a forced surrogate?
Yeah, literally. So they bring this woman in, and then once a month when she's like ovulating or whatever, the husband, it would literally be me laying on the bed. You see this in the first, I'm pretty sure, episode too. It'd be like me laying on the bed, the handmaid in between me, while John's at the end having sex with her. It's literally a ceremony, and so they can have a baby, and then when she gets pregnant, they take care of her, she has the baby, and then they like get rid of the handmaid type of thing. It's crazy.
Or she goes to like another house to be a handmaid for someone else.
Right, they get rid of her. They don't want her around once their baby is like with them.
Because you'll be like emotionally attached, and who knows what kind of thing you try.
The Crown. That's one that I started watching years ago. You didn't watch the first season. So The Crown
I love history.
Yeah, so The Crown is basically about Queen Elizabeth and when she becomes queen, when her dad passes away. And I don't think the royal family is very fond of the show because it like exposes a lot of, I feel like, secrets, but obviously, I don't know, everything I've looked up has been like historically accurate, even like to the outfits that they wear at certain like events and everything, and learning a lot about the Queen's sister and her great uncle, who I had no idea Queen Elizabeth's dad like wasn't supposed to be king. Like I didn't know. It's just crazy. So it's a cool way. I've always told you this, that I like learning history through stories and stuff. So I think, I don't know, it's a really well done show, and I love that it's based on things that have happened. Big Little Lies.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, Big Little Lies is based on a book by, I think, Leanne Moriarty. Reese Witherspoon's in it, Cheyenne Woodley, Nicole Kidman, and Zoe Kravitz. Oh my gosh, yeah. And then I can't think of. Anyway, awesome cast, really well done. It's another easy binge because it's like 7 episodes at like maybe 45 minutes, and there's like huge twist, and obviously the acting's just phenomenal because how can it not be with all those amazing actresses. Oh, and
Meryl Streep.
Oh yeah, she's in the 2nd season. You hate her though in that show.
She's a monster.
She's so good. She's so good at what she does that you absolutely hate her. Yeah. I put Game of Thrones on here, but it's so sad because this would be literally the perfect time to just like rewatch Game of Thrones, but it ended so heartbreakingly.
When quarantine's over, I'm gonna recruit a team and we're gonna go find D&D and we're gonna take them to an abandoned warehouse.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're gonna interrogate them.
Ask them
for
why.
a week to find out really why they decided to shit all over the last season of Game of Thrones. I've never been so disgusted in my life. Who's the author of Game of Thrones again? I can't think of his name right now.
George R.R. Martin.
Yes.
Yeah.
But dude, I feel horrible for him.
Yeah.
Like imagine
He said he wanted it to be 4 more seasons.
He said if he had it his way, it would have been at least 4 more seasons.
Could you imagine having Game of Thrones right now still?
Dude.
I get depressed thinking about it.
Just if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Yeah,
don't go watch it. We're talking about how disappointing it was. I can't even recommend it.
I can. It's so good up
is.
Until the last season though.
But I know, but I
and the first season's in.
So another one on Hulu is called The Act, and if you've ever seen the documentary on HBO, I think there's more than one documentary. I don't know if you watched this one with me, but it's.
Oh, was it the one where?
Yes. Dude. So The Act is on Hulu, and it's based off of a true story about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Terrifying. So if you've ever heard of is it a disease? Munchausen's by proxy? Is that considered a disease? I'm not sure. Basically, that's what her mom has, and she basically keeps her daughter sick. So her daughter always needs her, and she always has to take care of her.
Or makes people think that her daughter is sick, even though she's not sick.
Same.
Because,
yeah.
I mean, it's different if someone's actually intentionally, like, making you sick, like, poisoning you. Like, the doctors would tell her, like, your daughter is completely fine.
Right.
She'd be like, no, I'm your mom, or I'm her mom.
Yeah.
I know, you don't. And I was like...
Yeah. Yeah,
she's
just...
absolutely
crazy.
Okay. Like,
but there's been documentaries about this. I mean,
super scary,
for a while.
Super sad.
Very. Mommy, Dead, and Dearest is the documentary. What are you barking at? Tough guy?
Chill out, bro.
Come here. Hi. Come here. Okay, bye. So, Mommy, Dead, and Dearest is the documentary on HBO where they actually interview Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She is in jail now.
Watch and find out why.
Yes,
I don't necessarily think she should be.
It's not. Yeah. I know what you're saying. I agree. Yeah, that's a really good drama that I.
Really, yeah, so sad. It'll make you upset. The morning show.
Oh yeah, the morning show. The morning show I think is on. What do we watch that on? Apple. I think it's Apple TV.
Yeah.
Like their station or whatever, and that's with Jennifer Aniston and Steve Carell and who else that we know in that. I feel like I'm missing someone, but maybe not.
Reese Witherspoon.
Oh my god, yeah. Another one. She's in
everything.
Lately. Yeah, literally. That's actually a good one that we kind of thought was going one way, and then you like figure out more about certain situations as you go. And they definitely set that up for a 2nd season.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
It's worth watching.
It's worth watching, yeah. That was a good show. And then last documentary that I actually put on when we had people over randomly one night, just kind of like for something in the background. And I was like so invested in it. It's called Night on Earth, and it's on Netflix. And it's literally just about animals and insects all over the world and what basically them at night. I don't know. That was a terrible description of it, but it's very freaking interesting, and you see
just the camera work.
Camera work is how the hell do they get all this footage? Like, I feel like that's with most documentaries. It's so beautiful. It is.
Like, it's really, really beautiful.
It is. Really well done documentary if you want to watch some animal nature stuff. I think that's kind of all we have for. I didn't want this to be too long, even though this is already a long video, but I think that was a good rundown of our favorite shows that we've been watching.
Almost all of our favorite shows are the ones we watch together. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
It's a good list.
It's a decent list.
Hopefully you guys will be busy for a while.
Yeah, if you haven't seen
Entertained.
any, they're all worth it except for Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You said you liked that.
It's alright.
You just don't like Andy Samberg.
The Crown's alright. The Crown's
a good one.
It's good.
It's
just
good.
a little slow for me.
It is pretty
And I love
slow.
history. It's just, I don't know.
The royal family is just a different world. All right, so those were only TV shows. We definitely watch mostly TV shows, but if you guys like this and you want to hear our favorite movies, then comment down below or give this a thumbs up and we will get to work.
And even if you don't like this, we might do it anyway.
Because we're bored.
Because it's our life. Alright, we can do whatever we want.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next week.